Hello again, the time has come for me to make my one caterpillar of the year, except this time we are making 3 of them in one go. No collab this time, but if you're a YouTuber watching this and are interested in collaborating with the coolest person you know, then look me up on Instagram or you can DM me, please and thank you. Okay, with that out of the way, I can now explain that this month's groundbreaking technique is using the cup coasters laying around my mom's house to squeeze this caterpillar into a beautiful plateau. The little lady has 2 prongs at the end of its row of spiky prickles, so I will use one of my ball tools to do that along with some good old-fashioned tugging and pulling. Sorry about that. The demons were whispering in my ear for me to do that video with a southern accent since the nascent slugworm can apparently be found all over Missouri. Well, sorry about that. Instead, I'll settle for calling this nascent slugworm Tom Sawyer for the rest of its foreseeable career. So now, as a surprise to absolutely nobody, I've come to regret making lines with the jagged edge of my black paint, so instead I will be erasing that in hopes that we can all forget that ever happened. I was really using it to make sure that each row of dots was in line with each other, and also because I was too lazy to locate the correct tool for that. So now that I have mapped out all of the dots on top, I will go around the perimeter of Tom Sawyer in hopes that those two will all be in line. Spoiler alert, there is going to be so much chopping in this video. Just get your booze ready from now and be prepared to take a shot every time I chop up a log of clay. For this first log, I ain't chopping it up for winter. Sorry about that. I'm chopping it up to make sure the balls are the same size so that I can plop them where they need to go without one sending out too much. An idea which will become null and void later on in the video. I sort of beat you all to the punch of naming the bugs by going ahead and naming nascent slugworm Tom Sawyer, but if it's any consolation, you guys can name the jewel caterpillar twins in the comments below. I'm very excited to see which of you weirdos will come up with the most absurd of names. Okay, so. I'm mapping out Tom's design, but instead of mapping out the entire design, I'm mapping out bits and pieces of the design, okay? So that it fits together like a puzzle. So boom, dots first, then the double lines in the middle. Then the squiggles that connect the double lines, then the horizontal line that goes inside the squiggle. Not complicated at all, obviously. Then, easy as pie, I do the same thing on the sides. An easy way to cheat here is to take a picture of the first side. Once you've completed it, flip the photo and use that to make the other side. Voila! After some light carving on the bottom, I'll take my handy silicone mat and use it to bend Tom like Beckham, therefore showing off his sweet little face. It won't ever lay flat like I want it to, but in the eyes of the laws of physics, Tom and I shall surrender. Did I take an educated guess on the face? Yes. As I said, one reference photo. When you think about it, it probably doesn't make sense for the face to protrude out the way I'm sculpting it now, since when Tom crawls, he would essentially be dragging his face along the concrete, but that's a problem for the other slugworms. Our Tom is in a sentient state of perpetual curiosity, a curiosity that begs him to keep his head up to the sun and away from the ground. Good for you, Tom. Good for you. Before I get carried away even further, as you can see, I'm making the prickles by cutting this very thin, very pliant wire. I timed myself for the lulz, and 1 hour really isn't bad, especially when I thought the result was enough to make the Cenobites proud. After that, we bake and move on. Next up are the jellies! Did you guys miss my tinfoil and rolling pin combo? Is that my channel staple now? Anyways, oh, this is so fun and exciting. I saw these caterpillars over a year ago, and I totally dismissed them because I was like, ain't no way I can make these transparent caterpillars, that is just crazy. But here we are. Never diminish what you can and cannot do with your finite amount of time in this world. I had to rip this up because I need the entire thing to fit within the 2-inch width of my mold, so I redid the tinfoil part to make it skinny. And now it's batty shot o'clock again, except this time I'm divvying up this log so that I can make the pyramid shaped spikes. I forgot to press record during the part where I show me making the pyramid shape, so sorry about that. But just imagine me pressing each mound between my forefinger and my thumb on both hands. I know that makes no sense, but use your imagination. Funny enough, I'm also so sorry because I have no clue what I'm doing in this clip. I literally finished adding prisms, so how am I adding more prisms? I don't know. Alright, whatever. I baked it after that. Ooh, sexy wide shot. Here's the mold thing I mentioned earlier. I got everything on Amazon, and as usual, I'll list it all in the description below. You guys already know me for the freak I am, so you shouldn't be surprised that I simply flip my glass cutting mat over when I hot glue the mold down instead of using literally anything else. I'm hot gluing it to ensure that none of the mold stars seeps onto my mom's office rug. Here's some quick math, by the way, so that we know how much mold stars to mix. Pause if you care. We're going to use equal parts of mold star part A and B, so we are cutting the equation I showed you in half so that we know how much of each part to mix up. This is so fun, I feel like an alchemist right now. In the smooth on tutorial I watched, Mr. Man emphasized emphatically that you have to really scrape the sides and the bottom of the container so that both parts are truly incorporated, so that's what I'm doing. The tutorial on the Smooth On YouTube channel are super duper helpful, so I'll link the ones I use in the description. It takes 6 hours for mold star to set, so after a work shift or a night's sleep, you should be all good. Somehow, some way, I didn't scrape the white backing off my cutting mat while doing this, so you already know that if I have to do this again, the cutting mat will not be spared. Now, with an X-Acto knife, I'll cut off the silly little edges of the block and the thin parts where the caterpillar is set into it, and just peel that puppy out. Ooh, everyone say thank you, Smooth On. Sadly, even sweet darling angels such as myself get hurt during battle. Now, we gotta get a little crazy. Everybody better be jumping. Pop a squat, take a shot, because it's time we're divvying up the logs to fortify the insides of this jelly cat. Wouldn't it be funny if I literally just made a tiny intestine and liver and heart and all the other organs inside of this? Maybe next time. As we know, the jelly cats are transparent. If you didn't know, here are the two I'm trying to make. For the first one, I want to have the caterpillar shine through like it does here, so I'm making a second mold of the inside of the caterpillar. To make that mold, I press each ball inside the jelly cat in a way that they correlate with the prisms on the outside. Because it's me, and I'm always in the pursuit of greatness, I started over, but I got it together after that. Then I'll take one of my spear tools to smush it down, leaving circular crevices like we see in the picture that I showed you earlier. There you can see what I mean by circular crevices. You see, it makes a lot of little domes. After that, I just fill in the gaps and smoosh the ones along the edge so that's seamless. Go back over to ensure the domes are relatively even. Yeah, okay, you get it. Then we bake this one for the second time. Oh, I love this lime green. I love this lime green so much. Every time I have an excuse to use it, I just gush over it. Which is ironic because I want nothing to do with this color in real life, considering my favorite colors are plum and all shades of red, but whatever. I slather on, I think, 3 layers of this before moving on to the spikes. If you look closely, the look of this cat is mostly white spines with black tips, but if you look towards the front, there are a few black spines with white tips. Speaking of the spines, they're sticking mechanisms, if you couldn't already guess, and I don't know about you, but if I saw this in real life, I would want to rub my hand against it like I'm petting a cat so bad. That's how I feel about almost every fluffy caterpillar I see, but society tells me I'll die if I do, so I don't, sadly. Oh, and there are the black spines with white tips I was talking about. Speaking of white tips, if you've ever wondered what I look like, right now I have frosted tips, so when you imagine me, just imagine Justin Timberlake from the 90s. Remember earlier in the video when I made the first log and I said I wanted the balls to be not that noticeable? Yeah. Well, the canon look of this cat does have this pretty shade of red at the base of the spines where I laid the tiny balls before. But I don't know, to me they look too big here, minus the spines. It looks like a bloody boil or a guy's nipple or something. I rolled with it anyway since there's nothing I can do about it now. Let me know in my comments if it's all in my head. Speaking of head, I primed Tom Sawyer's head with some gold base paint, and now I must make the inside mold before I have to clock into work. There's no math here because I was not about to pull out some advanced equations to figure that out, so I eyeballed it. Back to Tom Sawyer! Since we've already molded the design into him, painting the details was just a game of draw within the lines, which was very nice. Tom Sawyer here may be called a slugworm, but he really is a caterpillar. He just looks like a slug. In my research, I came across a biblically accurate version of Tom Sawyer that made me sick to my stomach to look at. I'll show it right here. That freak is called the crown slug caterpillar, and I don't know if it's the same species as our sweet Tom, who is a nascent slugworm, or if it's a yassified version from the 9th circle or whatever, but either way, I don't like that one. Fun fact about the jewel caterpillars that I'm making after this, they are also considered slug caterpillars. So the 3 cats that I'm rounding up today are like sisters. Since I'll be here painting for a sec, this is the perfect time to have a brief intermission since the video will end super abruptly this time, just to keep you guys on your toes. Thank you for all the love on the Owlfly. We are now at 2,800 subscribers, which means we're officially closer to 5,000 subs than at 0 subs. Woo! So let's get there. Please subscribe if you haven't already, especially if you made it this far in the video. Thank you for the ongoing support. Please vote in my poll below on what to make in the next video. Okay, I'm done. There is only one picture of Tom's underside that I could find, and it's on Renato's page. I hinted at that in my last video. You might even see a hint at what I'm going to make next on this page. Because of that, I gave myself the permission to freeball it on the other side, which, as we know, I never freeball anything ever. But anyways, I threw on some squiggles and got to work. Now that we've circled back to the face, I just did a watery coat of dark paint for the mouth so that the texture is shown without a lot of effort, painted the eyes a simple black, and gave him adorable anime cat flakes. If you couldn't tell, I've upgraded. My last UV lamp was only 12 watts, which is why it took so long for the Owlfly wings to cure, so I upgraded to a 36 watt. I coated the top half in UV resin and cured it, then flipped Tom over to coat the bottom half and cure that side as well. I poured the resin inside my mom's office because I'm built different and I don't need ventilation.
Michael! Don't leave me here!
I'm just kidding. But only do this with a respirator in a ventilated area of your house or outside. Thank you so much. With Tom complete and free to go fishing or whatever, we can unleash the jewel cats. I very delicately peeled this sucker out and beautified it by cutting away the tiny excess. After that, I stabbed the top half with my most pliant wire so that I could secure it into the block. Back again with the 2-part resin. I'm an icon, so I'm wearing my respirator and all the windows are open. Since I had to pull away the top part to pour the resin, I had to finagle it back into place for an excruciating amount of time. This one took 24 hours to cure, so keep that in mind if you're a YouTuber who tries to get videos out by the end of the month so that you're not behind and scrambling. Once that's done, very carefully pull out the rubber part, then very carefully pull out the resin mold, and that shit looks so fire, so frosty. Here's the color combo I whipped up, and it came out mad close to the colors on the source material, if I may flick my own bean here. The idea is to paint the underside in hopes that it will shine through once the top coat is on. Spoiler alert, it only kind of works, so if you have any big brain ideas on how to do what I'm trying to do, please let me know. As you can see here, it looks cool that the colors are really deep under there. I still like it, and I hope you do too though. What? A third jelly cat? All the steps are the same, except it doesn't have it underneath and the paper towel gets stuck, but it's fine. But yeah, that's it. Thank you. Love you. Bye.